My name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that on November 14th, 2024, I was part of a 6-person team sent into a section of Area 51 that officially doesn't exist. We weren't retrieving alien technology. We weren't investigating crashed spacecraft. We were sent to Level 7, and we were supposed to bring back what was left of the last team that went down there. The briefing room at Creech Air Force Base smelled like burnt coffee, and decades-old cigarette smoke permanently absorbed into acoustic ceiling tiles. 3 of us sat at a metal table bolted to concrete. Myself, Sergeant Marcus Webb, and Corporal Alicia Vasquez. Lieutenant Chun stood near the door. Dr. Emil Rostov, a civilian contractor with DoD credentials, sat separately, fingers drumming against a locked titanium case. Major Catherine Hollis entered without preamble. No salute, no formalities. She placed a folder on the table but didn't open it. You've all signed NDA documentation sufficient to execute you for treason if violated. You've all undergone psychological screening within the past 72 hours. You're all listed as on administrative leave effective immediately. Webb leaned forward. Ma'am, with respect, what are we actually doing? Hollis's expression didn't change. Retrieval, recovery, possibly extraction, if anyone's still alive. She opened the folder. The first image was architectural, a cross-section schematic of underground levels beneath Groom Lake. I'd seen versions of this before during compartmentalized training. Levels 1 through 4 were standard, testing facilities, storage, command infrastructure. Level 5 was grayed out, restricted. Level 6 was marked with biohazard symbols. Level 7 was black, completely redacted, except for one word typed in red across the bottom. Condemned. 73 hours ago, we lost contact with retrieval team operating in sub-level 7. For personnel, radio silence, no telemetry, no biosignature from suit monitors. Vasquez frowned. Equipment failure? No. Hollis's tone was flat. Before comms dropped, we received fragmented transmissions. Screaming. Sound we couldn't identify. Then nothing. She clicked to the next image. It was a photograph, grainy, timestamp burned into the corner, taken from a helmet cam. A corridor, concrete walls. But the geometry was wrong. Angles that shouldn't connect, perspectives that bent in ways that made my eyes ache trying to follow them. And something in the background, something tall, too tall, something that stood motionless in shadow, too organic to be machinery, too structured to be biological. We don't know what that is, Hollis said quietly. We've never known. That photograph is from 1989. Level 7 was sealed 14 months later after an incident that killed 32 personnel. Chin spoke for the first time. Then why are we going back down? Hollis met his eyes. Because 3 days ago the seals failed, and something started moving. We geared up in silence. Full CBRN suits with integrated rebreathers. Helmet-mounted cameras, feeding real-time data to Surface Command. Ballistic armor rated for a .50 caliber. Modular weapon systems. Primary rifles chambered in 6.8 millimeters, sidearms, breaching tools. Dr. Rostov carried no weapons. Only the titanium case, now locked to his wrist with a biometric cuff. What's in the case? I asked. He didn't look at me. Contingency. That's not an answer. It's the only one you'll get. The transport to Groom Lake took 40 minutes. No conversation. Just a hum of rotors and the weight of what we weren't being told pressing down like atmospheric pressure before a storm. We landed at a hangar marked with no designation. Inside, the floor had been retracted, revealing a cargo elevator platform large enough for vehicles. Hollis was waiting. You'll descend to Level 6. From there, access to Level 7 is through a single blast door. It should still be sealed. If it's not, we abort, Webb finished. Hollis didn't confirm or deny. You retrieve the bodies. You retrieve their equipment. You document anything you observe. You do not engage unless fired upon. You do not deviate from the route. And you do not, under any circumstance, go deeper than the first junction. Deeper? Vasquez asked. How far does Level 7 go? Hollis's silence was answer enough. The descent took 11 minutes. The elevator groaned, hydraulics straining against weight and depth. My HUD displayed depth markers in real time. Level 1, standard facility hum. Ventilation active. Level 2, cooler. Lighting strips visible through elevator grating. Level 3, air pressure change. Ears popped. Level 4, temperature drop noticeable even through the suit. Level 5, emergency lighting only. Yellow strobes every 10 meters. Level 6, red emergency lighting. Biohazard warning stenciled on every surface. The elevator stopped. The door opened into darkness, cut only by our helmet lamps. The smell hit immediately, even through the filters. Decay, chemical, something else underneath, something organic and wrong. Vasquez activated a handheld scanner. Air quality breathable but contaminated. Detecting particulate matter consistent with. She paused. Consistent with what? Chen asked. Spores. Biological. Unknown origin. Webb checked his rifle. Stay tight. Rostov center position. Nobody touches anything. We moved forward. The corridor was exactly as the schematic showed. 40 meters to the blast door. Concrete walls. Conduit piping overhead. But every surface was covered in a thin, oily residue that reflected our lights in strange, shifting patterns. Halfway down, we found the first body, or what was left of it. Part 2, target, 1,000 words. Staff Sergeant Brooks. I recognize him from the personnel file. 34 years old, 2 kids, wife stationed in Germany. His suit had been torn open from the inside. Not cut, not punctured, torn, like something had forced its way out through the reinforced polymer and ballistic plating. The body cavity was empty, ribs spread outward like flower petals. No blood, no organs, just that same oily residue coating everything, glistening black under our lights. Vasquez turned away. I heard her breathing accelerate over the comm. Control, this is Reaper 1. Webb transmitted. We have confirmation on Kia. Requesting immediate guidance on static, thick, crackling static that made my teeth ache. Then silence. Control, do you copy? Nothing. Chun checked his equipment. Telemetry's dead. We're transmitting but receiving nothing. How deep are we? I asked. Rostov answered without looking up from a body. 640 feet below surface level. Electromagnetic interference is expected at this depth. The rock contains trace elements that. Nobody asked for a geology lesson. Webb cut him off. We document, retrieve the body, and extract. Now. But Vasquez wasn't listening. She was staring past us, down the corridor toward the blast door. It's open, she whispered. We turned. The blast door, 3 feet of reinforced steel designed to withstand tactical nuclear detonation, stood ajar. Not forced. Not damaged. Open from the inside. The gap was maybe 18 inches. Just wide enough for something human-sized to pass through. Or something wearing a human-sized suit. Webb approached slowly, rifle raised. I moved with him, covering the angles. The door's interior locking mechanism was intact, but disengaged. Someone had unlocked it manually, using the emergency release. Someone from inside Level 7. Control, we have a serious problem. Webb transmitted again. The door is open. Repeat, Level 7 containment is breached. We need immediate. A sound interrupted him. Not over the radio. Not from our equipment. From beyond the door. A clicking. Rhythmic. Like joints popping. Like bones shifting in sockets too loose to hold them properly. Click, click, click. Pause. Click, click, click. It echoed from somewhere deep in the darkness beyond. We're leaving, Chin said. His voice was tight. Right now. Rostov grabbed his arm. We have orders. I don't care about orders. Something opened that door. Something that used to be human, or something that wanted us to think it was. The clicking stopped. The silence was worse. Webb made the decision. We secure Brooks's body and extract. Whatever happened here, it's above our clearance level. Light flickered beyond the door. Not electric light. Not chemical. Bioluminescence. blue-white, pulsing in patterns that seemed almost intentional. And then we heard it, a voice. Help. Distant, weak, coming from inside level 7. Please, still alive, help me. Vasquez grabbed her radio. Control, we have possible survivor. Requesting permission to... No, Webb's voice was steel. That's not a survivor. You don't know that. Yes, I do, because that voice is Brooks. And Brooks is lying dead 15 feet behind us. The clicking resumed. Faster now. Multiple sources. Coming from different directions inside level 7. Echoing through corridors we couldn't see. Click, 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 click. The bioluminescent light grew brighter. Shapes moved in the darkness. Tall shapes. Moving with wrong-jointed fluidity. Webb pulled the blast door shut. Or tried to. It wouldn't move. The mechanism was responsive, but something held it from the other side. Something strong. Help me, he shouted. Chun! And I grabbed the door. All three of us pulled. The resistance increased. Like whatever was on the other side was pulling back, testing our strength. Then suddenly it let go. We stumbled backward as the door slammed shut. The locking bolts engaged automatically. For 5 seconds, nothing moved. Then something hit the other side of the door. Hard. The impact resonated through the corridor. Dust rained from ceiling tiles. The metal surface dented inward 3 inches. Another impact. Another dent. Then dozens. Simultaneously. Like fists or heads or bodies throwing themselves against reinforced steel with enough force to deform it. The sound was deafening even through our helmets. And underneath it, barely audible, we heard them. Voices. Dozens of voices. All saying the same thing. Let us out. Let us out. Let us out. In perfect unison. We ran. No tactical formation. No procedure. Just pure animal panic, driving us back toward the elevator. Behind us, the impacts continued, then stopped. The silence chased us worse than the noise had. Vasquez was gasping. What were those things? What the... Keep moving. Webb barked. We reached the elevator. Chun hit the call button. Nothing happened. He hit it again. And again. The display was dead. Stairs, I said. Emergency stairs, west corner. We found the stairwell access. The door was locked, but the breaching tool made short work of it. Inside, the stairs ascended into darkness broken only by battery-powered emergency strips that cast everything in sickly green. We started climbing. Level 6 to level 5. 84 steps. My legs burned. The suit was heavy. The recycled air tasted like copper. Behind us, a door opened. Not the one we'd come through. One of the other level access doors. Footsteps echoed below us. Multiple sets. Moving fast. But the pattern was wrong. The rhythm was off. Too many impacts. Too irregular. Like something with too many legs trying to mimic human movement. Go, go, go. Webb shoved Rostov ahead. Level 5 to level 4. 92 steps. The footsteps were gaining. I risked a glance back. Below us, descending from level 6, figures moved in the green emergency light. They wore tactical suits identical to ours. They moved upright on 2 legs, but their heads turned at angles that weren't possible. Their arms bent in too many places. Their shadows on the wall didn't match their bodies. And they were smiling. All of them. Identical smiles stretched too wide across faces that might have been human once. One of them was Brooks. Part 3. Target, 1,000 words. Don't look back. Chun screamed. Just climb. Level 4 to level 3. 106 steps. My lungs were screaming. The suit's cooling system couldn't keep up with my core temperature. Behind us, the footsteps multiplied. Not just footsteps anymore. Scraping, scratching, like claws on concrete. The things weren't pretending anymore. We burst through the level 3 access door into a corridor I recognized from the descent. Standard facility construction, fluorescent lighting, numbered doors. Everything normal, everything safe, except the lights were flickering in sequence, creating a strobe effect that made movement seem stuttered and unnatural. And at the far end of the corridor, someone stood waiting. Dr. Emil Rostov. But Dr. Rostov was right behind me. I heard his breathing over the comm, heard his footsteps. The other Rostov smiled, raised one hand, waved slowly, then stepped backward through the wall and vanished. Hallucination. Rostov gasped beside me. His voice was shaking. Subsonic frequency. They're generating a field that affects neural processing. Don't trust what you see. Don't. The stairwell door exploded outward. Not opened. Exploded. Torn off its hinges by something with enough force to crumple reinforced steel like paper. The things poured through. 3 of them. 4. 5. They moved like insects wearing human skin. Joints bending backward. Heads tilted at impossible angles. Those 2 wide smiles splitting faces that rippled and shifted like something underneath was trying to get out. Webb opened fire. The rifle's report was deafening in the enclosed space. Muzzle flash strode the corridor. He hit the first one center mass. The impact tore through the tactical suit and the body beneath. But instead of blood, something else sprayed out. Black. Viscous. That same oily substance. The creature didn't fall. Didn't even slow down. It just looked at Webb, tilted its head, and clicked. Click, click, click. The others responded in kind. A chorus of bone-popping clicks that resonated through my chest and made my vision swim. My helmet display flickered. Text appeared across my HUD. Remove your helmet. The air is safe. Remove your helmet. I reached for the seals. Vasquez tackled me. Don't. It's not real. Fight it. The creatures surged forward. Webb fired again. Chen joined him. The corridor lit up with muzzle flash and tracer rounds. They hit the creatures over and over, tore through synthetic flesh and whatever lay beneath. Black ichor splattered the walls. But the creatures kept coming, absorbing damage that should have killed them instantly. One of them grabbed Webb. Its hand, if it could be called a hand, had too many fingers. They wrapped around his helmet like a spider, and when they squeezed, the polymer cracked. Webb screamed. The sound cut off as his helmet imploded. The creature pulled him close, pressed what might have been a mouth against his faceplate, and breathed. Black mist poured into Webb's suit through the shattered visor. He convulsed. His body arched backward, then went rigid. When he turned toward us, his eyes were solid black, and he was smiling that same too wide smile. Run, Rostov whispered. Oh, God, run. We ran. Chun threw a thermite grenade behind us. The magnesium flash was blinding, the heat immediate and intense. It bought us 10 seconds, maybe 15. We reached another stairwell, this one intact. We climbed, level 3 to level 2, 114 steps. My legs were giving out. My vision tunneled. The HUD was glitching, overlaying impossible images, corridors that twisted into themselves, doors that led nowhere, faces pressed against the inside of my visor. Vasquez was crying. I could hear her over-the-comm broken sobs between ragged breaths. Chun was praying. Quiet, desperate. Level 2 to level 1. 98 steps. The door to level 1 was locked, magnetically sealed. Chun pulled the breaching charge. Set it. Backed away. Fire in the hole. The explosion was muffled but effective. The door blew inward. Beyond it, daylight. Actual sunlight streaming through the hangar's open bay doors. We stumbled forward into warmth and light, an air that didn't taste like death. The hangar was empty. No personnel, no vehicles, no Hollis, just silence and sun, and the distant sound of wind across desert sand. Where is everyone? Vasquez whispered. I checked my chronometer. We'd been underground for 43 minutes, but the sun was wrong. Too low, wrong angle for mid-afternoon. Rostov checked his own equipment, then checked it again. That's not possible, he said. What? According to GPS and celestial positioning, we've been down there for 3 days. Chun laughed, high-pitched, hysterical. That's not possible. We had 40 minutes of air, maybe an hour with reserves. We'd be dead. Then explain the sun. Explain the date stamp. Explain. A sound behind us. From the stairwell. Clicking. Slow. Methodical. Getting closer. We ran for the hangar doors. out into desert sun that felt too bright, too hot, too wrong. A helicopter sat on the tarmac, unmanned, rotors still. We piled in. Chun took the pilot seat. His hands shook as he started the ignition sequence. The turbines whined. The rotors engaged. Through the hangar doors, shapes emerged into sunlight. 10 of them. 15. 20. All wearing tactical suits. All moving with that wrong-jointed gait. All smiling. They didn't pursue us. They just stood there, watching, as we lifted off and banked away toward empty desert. I looked back once. They were waving. Part 4, target, 1,000 words. We flew for 20 minutes before anyone spoke. Chun kept the helicopter low, following terrain, avoiding any chance of radar detection. Vasquez stared at nothing. Rostov clutched his titanium case, like it was the only real thing left in the world. Maybe it was. Where are we going? I finally asked. Away, Chun said. Just away. My radio crackled. Static. Then a voice. Reaper 1, this is Control. We've been trying to reach you for 72 hours. What is your status? Webb's voice. Clear. Calm. Professional. But Webb was dead. Or worse than dead. I keyed to my control. We're extracting. Level 7 is compromised. We have casualties and need immediate. Negative, Reaper 1. You need to return to base for debrief. That's an order. Did you hear me? Level 7 is. We're tracking your position. You're ordered to return immediately, or you'll be classified as hostile and engaged accordingly. Chun looked at me. They're threatening to shoot us down. They're not Control, Rostov said quietly. That's not our Control. That's them. How do you know? Because Webb never knew our call sign. That information was compartmentalized. Only Hollis knew it. The radio crackled again. This time it was Hollis's voice. Reaper 1, you are carrying contaminated material. You must return for quarantine procedures. Then Chen's voice. Then Vasquez's voice. Then my own voice, slightly distorted, speaking words I'd never said. Return to base. Return to base. Return to base. An overlapping chorus of our own voices commanding us to turn back. Chen killed the radio. We flew in silence for another 10 minutes before we saw the roadblock. Military vehicles, Humvees, personnel carriers, arrayed across Highway 375 in a perfect line. Soldiers standing at attention, dozens of them, all facing our direction, all perfectly still. That's not right, Vasquez said. That's not protocol. They should be scrambling, responding, not just standing there. Chen banked away. We need to find civilian population, witnesses, somewhere public where they can't. It won't matter, Rostov interrupted. What? He opened the titanium case. Inside was a device I didn't recognize. Compact, crystalline structures embedded in dark metal. A digital display showing numbers that counted down. What is that? I demanded. Contingency, Rostov said. The real reason I was on this mission. This device is a failsafe. If Level 7 containment failed beyond recovery, I was authorized to activate it. What does it do? He looked at me. His eyes were hollow. It collapses a quantum field, keeping Level 7 anchored to our reality. Severs a connection. Everything down there, everything that came from down there, ceases to exist in our dimensional framework. Vasquez grabbed his arm. You're talking about a weapon. What's the yield? There is no yield. It doesn't explode. It just removes everything within a 12-mile radius. Buildings, people, rock, all of it shifts out of phase and becomes inaccessible. That's insane, Chen said. You'll kill thousands of people. There are no people at Groom Lake anymore. There haven't been for 3 days. Whatever we saw down there, whatever followed us up, it's spreading, replacing. We're the only ones left. I thought about the roadblock, the soldiers standing too still, the voices on the radio. How do you know? Because I was briefed on what happened in 1989, the first breach. They lost 80% of base personnel in 6 hours. The creatures spread through mimicry and infection. They replaced people. wore them like suits, and they would have spread beyond the base if they hadn't sealed Level 7 and purged everyone who'd been exposed. Purged, I repeated. You mean murdered? I mean save the world. And now we have to do it again. Chen's voice was tight. And us? We've been exposed. We're contaminated. Rostov didn't answer. He didn't have to. The device in his hand showed 90 seconds. You son of a... Vasquez lunged for him. I caught her. Stop. If he's right, if those things are spreading, then this is the only way. We could warn people. We could. Who would believe us? And how long before we become like them? How long before whatever we breathe down there changes us? She knew I was right. We all did. Chun brought the helicopter around. Back toward Groom Lake. Back toward Ground Zero. I'm sorry, Rostov whispered. I'm so sorry. 60 seconds. The base came into view. From this altitude, it looked normal. Hangars, runways, vehicles moving in organized patterns. But I could see them now. The wrongness. The way the vehicles moved in too perfect synchronization. The way personnel stood in geometric formations that weren't military, weren't human. They were waiting, preparing, getting ready to spread beyond containment. 40 seconds. I have a son, Chen said quietly. 8th grade. He wants to be a pilot. I have a sister, Vasquez added. Getting married next month. I don't have anyone, I said, but I'm glad I'm with you. I'm glad I'm not alone. 20 seconds. We held hands. All of us, even Rostov. Chun kept the helicopter steady, pointed at the heart of the base. 10 seconds. Below us, the creatures stopped their pretense. The fake soldiers looked up. The smiles dropped away. They opened their mouths and screamed. Not sound. Something else. Something that hit my mind like a physical force. I heard promises, offers, visions of immortality, of evolution, of becoming something greater than human. I heard threats, images of everything I loved dying in agony unless I turned back. I heard my mother's voice, my father's voice, people I'd lost years ago begging me to land, to stop, to join them. 5 seconds. Chen's hands tightened on the controls. See you on the other side. 3 seconds. Rostov pressed the activation button. 2 seconds. The world inverted. Part 5, target, 1,000 words. I can't describe what happened next. Not accurately. Not in any way that makes sense. Reality folded. That's the closest I can come. Like the entire world was a piece of paper creased down the middle, and we were caught in the fold. Light bent at angles that shouldn't exist. Colors appeared that I don't have names for. The helicopter was there and not there simultaneously. And the screaming, God, the screaming, not from us, from them, from the creatures below as they were pulled back, compressed, forced through a hole in space-time that was closing like a wound healing. I saw them in that moment, really saw them, not the human suits they wore, not the mimicry, their true forms, geometric nightmares, angles and surfaces that intersected in impossible ways, structures that existed in more dimensions than my mind could process. They weren't biological. They weren't mechanical. They were mathematical. Pure spatial anomalies given terrible purpose. And they were ancient, far older than humanity, older than Earth. They'd been here before. They'd been waiting. And we'd built our most secret base right on top of their prison. I woke up in a hospital bed. White walls, white ceiling, fluorescent lights humming overhead. My body ached. My head felt like it had been cracked open and poorly reassembled. A nurse entered. Young, professional. She smiled when she saw I was awake. Welcome back, she said. You've been unconscious for 4 days. How are you feeling? Where am I? Edwards Air Force Base. Medical wing. You were found in the desert about 40 miles east of Groom Lake. Severe dehydration. Radiation exposure. Some kind of neurological trauma. The others, my team, all safe. They're recovering in other rooms. Relief flooded through me. And the base, Groom Lake, her smile didn't waver. I'm not cleared for that information, but someone wants to speak with you. She left. A moment later, Major Hollis entered. She looked exactly as I remembered. Professional, composed. No indication of stress or trauma. She pulled up a chair. Saturday. You did well, she said. Better than we hoped. What happened? The device, did it work? Yes. Containment was restored. The threat was neutralized. And the creatures? Gone. Returned to wherever they came from. She paused. Or destroyed. We're not entirely sure. Dr. Rostov's device functioned as designed, but the mechanism is difficult to explain. I want to see my team. Of course. But first we need to debrief. I need you to tell me everything you saw, everything you experienced, every detail. Something in her voice. Too smooth, too calm. I looked at her carefully. Really looked. When did I tell you my name? I asked. During the initial briefing. No, you never use names. You called us by rank only. Her smile didn't change. You're confused. The trauma. What color were the emergency lights on level 6? Red. You reported that yourself. I never reported anything. Our comms were down. She stood. Smoothly. Precisely. You're disoriented. That's normal after what you've been through. Rest now. We'll continue this conversation when you've recovered. She walked toward the door. Her movements were perfect. Too perfect. And just before she left, she turned back and smiled. That same too wide smile. Don't worry, she said. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to take good care of you. All of you. Forever. The door closed. I heard the lock engage. That was 4 months ago. I'm still in this room. They tell me I'm recovering. They tell me I need observation. Psychological evaluation. Decontamination protocols. But I know the truth. They're studying us. Watching us. Waiting to see if we'll change. If whatever we were exposed will transform us into something useful. Or maybe we already have changed. Maybe I'm not who I think I am anymore. Maybe I'm one of them now, and this entire video is bait. A lure to draw you in, make you curious, make you search for answers. Maybe that's what they want. Or maybe I'm still human, still fighting, still trying to warn you before it's too late. I don't know anymore. What I do know is this. Level 7 isn't sealed. The failsafe didn't work, or it worked too well and punched a permanent hole we can't close. They're still down there, still waiting, still learning, and they're patient. They've been patient for millions of years. They can wait a little longer, until we forget, until we get curious again, until we dig deep enough, push far enough, demand to know what's really hidden beneath the desert, until we open the door ourselves. I need you to listen carefully now. If you're watching this, if you've made it this far, you need to understand something. Area 51 isn't hiding aliens. It's not hiding advanced technology or crashed spacecraft or government conspiracies. It's hiding something far worse. It's hiding the truth about what was here before us, what lived in the spaces between, what waits in the deep places where we were never meant to go. And the real secret, the one they'll kill protect, is that we didn't discover them. They let us find them. They've been guiding us, subtly, carefully, for decades. Every crashed UFO, every unexplained phenomenon, every report of strange creatures and impossible sightings, breadcrumbs, leading us deeper, making us curious, making us dig, because they can't break out, but they can be let out. And every person who learns about Level 7, every person who gets curious, every person who starts asking questions, they're one step closer to opening that door. So here's what I need you to do. Share this video. Make it go viral. Get it in front of as many people as possible. Not because I want to warn them. Because if enough people know, if enough people are watching, they can't make us all disappear. They can't silence everyone. Maybe that gives us a chance. Maybe that keeps the door closed just a little bit longer. Or maybe, and this is what keeps me awake at night, maybe that's exactly what they want. Maybe spreading the story is part of the plan. Maybe every view, share, every person who becomes curious is another thread pulled, another seal weakened. Maybe by watching this video, you've already become part of it. I don't know. I can't know, but I had to try. So share this. Remember this. And whatever you do, if you ever find yourself near Groom Lake, if you ever see a door that shouldn't be there, if you ever hear clicking sounds in the dark, run. Don't look back. Don't try to help. Don't investigate. Just run and pray they're not already inside you. The door at my room just opened. Someone's standing in the hallway. They're smiling, and they're clicking,